Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Talks One podcast. I remember the last session that I did. Many of you had asked me to talk about Pahalgam as well. And at that time, I chose not to speak about it as it was a recent incident and not many details were out. But now I think is a good time to speak about it because whole social media news channels etc is filled with news about India versus Pakistan. It has been couple of days since we have been receiving news about, especially in the Delhi region, that there will be blackouts, and it is pretty clear that to avenge the Pahalgam attack, India basically launched a specific targeted elimination campaign over the last few days, named as Operation Sindoor, to hit terrorist launch pads in Pakistan, both in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir as well as in several regions within Pakistan. And as you would have imagined that Pakistan by itself is a rogue nation. We have also heard that even the Balochistan province, even the side of Afghanistan, is also basically launching attacks over Pakistan on their western front. So, from that perspective, if you see, it seems like India has been playing its cards well. They have actually talked to major powers in the world, including US, Russia, etc., informing that they are going to do these kind of operations to eliminate the terrorism apparatus that is being sponsored by Pakistan, ISI, and things like that. And it seems like that over the last few weeks, while a lot of people were jumping up and down for avenging it, talking about the wars and things like that, finally that day has come. I mean, think about it. uh, War is never good for a country, right? There is always a time and the location and strategy that is required to conduct a full blown war. And the experience that India has with Pakistan for over 75 years, it is abundantly clear that Pakistan is not run by a stable government, but it is run by the army, which is extremely corrupt, who runs Pakistan, and their main modus operandi is to hurt India. So having Pakistan right next to India is extremely dangerous for India, and I think that even though in the last 10 years, especially once Modi took power, and I've said these things earlier as well, that security apparatus in India has been beefed up. We don't see any day-to-day terror activities across rest of the India. There are some activities that happen in Jammu and Kashmir and the border areas, definitely for sure, but we don't see any kind of bomb blasts, etc., across Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc. In the last 10, 11 years, we have completely forgotten. And I still remember when we used to be in the UPA regime, we used to have so many of these attacks. Mumbai attacks are very famous, 26 by 11. But instead, apart from that, also we used to have bomb blast across Sarojini Nagar in Delhi, near the parliament. We also know about Hyderabad, Bangalore. Pretty much every major city in India used to have a lot of these bomb blasts, and innocent people used to die in those. And I remember even wherever you go to airport or to bus stations or even train stations, there used to be continuous announcements that do not touch any unattended particle or luggage, etc. So we grew up on that fear that any untoward incident can happen. But over the last 10 to 11 years since Modi came to power, at least we did not see these things happening, and economy also grew because you can't survive under constant stress and fear, right? So it's very important that your sense of security and sovereignty is there, and which is what I think the stability that the current government provided. Now, having said that, I'd like to point out that there are intelligence failures that has happened. They happened during the time of Uri as well. In the previous times, also there are a lot of these incidents, intelligence failures that happened, and Even now, we don't know what were the reason of that, who failed, or what actions were taken to avoid those incidents. And same is true for Pahalgam attack as well. That uh, there has been intelligent failures on the side of our government, which needs to be said that nobody is asking about the accountability for that. So there needs to be accountability. Some heads should roll. We should know exactly whose responsibility was to safeguard those areas. How come those militants came in and like basically shot dead so many people, specifically targeting Hindus or non-Muslims, asking them to read the kalma and other kind of things to identify these are actually non-Muslims and basically shooting them. So, I mean, it's abundantly clear that terrorists wants to basically, rage jihad against India. Yeah, there is no doubt about it. There is no doubt in my mind that's the case, and they'll continue to do so. So India is in its right to eliminate these kind of forces, right? And we know for a fact that these terrorists are being harbored by Pakistan, who are supporting them, providing them the ammunition and the basically both the monetary, political, physical, and all kind of support for them to perpetrate these kind of acts against India. So Indian government this time around is doing fantastic job in basically tackling them. But we should not forget that even China is backing out Pakistan, right? So on one hand, they're fighting an economic war with the US and they were trying to cozy up with India on the background. But geopolitics is so complicated that on the background, they're also pumping out Pakistan because China has built like one road initiative from China occupied or upside Chin as we call it, the China occupied Kashmir. They have from their Xinjiang province, which is their most westernmost underdeveloped area, which is where Uyghur Muslims, most of the Uyghur Muslims or Central Asian Muslims reside in that Chinese region. It basically their One Belt initiative goes all the way from Xinjiang province, from China occupied Kashmir all the way through Gilgit Baltistan or the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and it goes all the way to Gwadar port, which is a very important port right nearby Iran. So if you see, primarily that whole area is highly governed, completely developed by China. So China also has its economic interest there, and it also wants to destabilize India. So they basically support Pakistan by providing them their later jets and things like that. So it's a very complicated thing, and you would also see that even China and Russia are friends, but Russia is not helping out Pakistan in this area because even Russia and India is friend, in fact. And even though it seems like China and Russia are friends, but this friendship is also very selective, because right now Russia is also fighting out with the US, and hence China is also fighting out with the US. So they have kind of aligned. But even Russia and China has their own border disputes, and even that can erupt anytime. So we are in a, I would say, from a perspective that I am studying here in India, it's a very difficult time to be very honest, right? Anything can happen. We keep hearing advisory. My son goes to the school. They have given advisory that they can shut down schools anytime. We kept on noticing a lot of announcements around blackouts, though we did not see any blackouts for the last few days. But it can happen anytime. In fact, there are rumors that you should put a ration in your home, buy all the like the rice and atta and the pulses, etc. Keep stock of them at home, because if any incident happens, etc., you should have enough food so that you can survive, because you never know how many shops and markets, etc., will shut down if anything basically happens, which we don't know, which is actually going to happen or not. I personally was also going through some kind of personal kind of emergencies, so I could not come online for last few weeks. I would say, when I was shifting my home, I was trying to get another apartment, which I have got now. I'm still setting it up because, as you know, in India, there is no commitment on what you ask and what you actually get. So even though I'm paying the full rent, I have paid everything in advance, etc. I had asked for a fully furnished apartment, but once I took the apartment, I realized a lot of things are not working, including the air conditioning, the water tap, etc. So it took us some time to like coordinate with the service providers, working with them. Still, certain portions are remaining, but I think major part is kind of done, and we're still setting up our apartment because we took it in a kind of a very hurried situation. It was not very well planned too, so it created a lot of hiccups. And meanwhile, my wife's situation also deteriorated. We are seeing her cancer has actually progressed. That is what the doctors are saying. So we had to reinitiate her cancer medication. She has developed a lot of pain in her walking ability. Her bones seem to have seen progression of metastatic disease, which has caused a lot of discomfort for her. And as it is, she was undergoing through very severe fever for over 2.5 months now. Actually, it's already going to be 2.5 months. So we ourselves are going through a lot at this point of time, and then only now I think we have come into our own home, moved out from our in-laws where we were staying for past few months, and then on top of that her disease has also progressed. I mean, we are kind of confused because she was under typhoid and fungal infection and then UTI. All of them attacked her, and this is generally a fallout from getting a chemotherapy, because the immune system becomes so compromised that you will get opportunistic infections like very quickly. So she caught all of them. She was running under 104 fever, and we were getting her medication and going through it. Right now, it has kind of like gone to around 100, 99-ish kind of fever, but it's still there. It's not fully recovered. But then we started her cancer treatment as well because she was not getting it for almost 3+ months. Since we came back from the US. So it's kind of wait and watch. We'll try to figure out like what happens with the. We have started the treatment here, but long story short, what I wanted to say is that nobody wants war, right? There is always a place and time for war, but and not all wars have to be fought. But then one has to take a stand as well. So when the Pahalgam attack happened, I think. Across party lines across India, there was a lot of push to the government to take avenge that kind of attack, and I think India did the right stand. Uh, Particularly, I like their slogan of Operation Sindoor. I think it's almost like a movie, but this time it is real. And as you would see, you would shortly see so many movies made out of this Operation Sindoor, as it is like a lot of companies including Reliance and multiple other movie houses are trying to copyright this name Operation Sindoor so that they can launch a kind of a movie very shortly after that. But fact of the matter is that after several decades, I would say almost 50 years, I would say India has taken such an aggressive stand wherein not only they have attacked these terrorist installations within the POK, but they have attacked deep in Pakistan, Punjab province as well, which is like basically crossing the international border, so to speak, and deep inside Pakistan. So that's a big deal. It has never done this before. It is almost on the similar lines of like what Israel used to do or what US used to do. India has taken that kind of a posture, and as you would know, Pakistan has retaliated by trying to attack a lot of military installations across India, mostly in Jammu, Kashmir, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, those kind of like the border areas that are touching Pakistan, the western side of India. Thus far, as far as the news is concerned, and the briefing that we have got from the army officials is that none of those strikes were successful, and India's system, anti-air ballistic missile systems, defense systems. I don't think India has an Iron Dome like what Israel has, but S-400 is what they're claiming. The Russian defense system, air defense system, has been activated, and several other indigenous systems that India has used were successful in neutralizing those attacks that happened over India over the last few days. But having said that, right, even if you basically curtail, neutralize all the attacks that are coming towards India, but you don't need 10 weapons or 5 weapons. You just need one missile that passes by and it will create a lot of havoc. So I would say we are still not out of the war. War is still going on. A lot of attack, counter attack, etc. is happening. A lot of misinformation is also happening. That earlier we heard from Pakistan side that so many drones have been downed and then the aircrafts have been downed. Then there was some misinformation coming from India side as well that a lot of cities in Pakistan like Islamabad and Karachi and Lahore and all those cities have also been attacked. I think only thing that is certified right now is that Lahore's air defense system has been broken completely, but we cannot confirm for sure whether the same has happened in Karachi or Islamabad or other kind of areas. Meanwhile, we did see that Jammu airport and Jammu region in particular was attacked, and I think there were blackouts in Jammu and I guess in Chandigarh as well on the India side, though it has not touched the Delhi and the nearby region. But again, I think everyone is at high alert. Anything is possible. As I said, you can uh, protect yourself. You can neutralize a lot of these weapons in the air, but even if one of them basically passes through, it can create a huge impact, right? And knowing Pakistan, they may not only attack army installations or critical infrastructure for India, they may even attack civilians and civilian infrastructure. So that's the bad part, because then it will be a collateral damage. And apparently it seems like across the world right now there is no superpower who is coming to mediate. Everyone is like sitting in the sidelines and just watching what's going on, and they're letting India and Pakistan figure it out by themselves. I for sure can tell that if this persists for a very long period of time, it will create a huge economic dent for both Pakistan and India. Unfortunately, Pakistan is already a rogue state. It's already in severe debt, and it's a kind of a, uh, you know, it's a country, but it is just hanging by a small thread. There is a likelihood that Pakistan itself divides, because Balochistan Liberation Army has also been activated. They are waging infrastructure attacks on Pakistani army. Meanwhile, the Taliban is also like trying to, maybe attack them, or increasing their kind of, attacks on the western front of Pakistan. Meanwhile, Pakistan has deployed all their military, etc., on their eastern front, or mainly from the western front of India. So I think in the next few days this should resolve. But as I said, until that happens, we should all be very very careful to not perpetuate misinformation, and we should not start chest thumping just yet, because we don't know till when this war is going to last, what is the collateral damage this can cause. We also have to understand that it will have impact, economic impact, because billions of dollars will get wasted, because all the uh, ammunition, all the machinery that will get involved, all the missiles that are being launched, they cost, right? They are not cheap. So cost of war is very very high, and then psychology, the personal loss. And I know for a fact that even on the India side, there have been some casualties in Jammu and Kashmir, probably in Punjab as well. So those are casualties that happen across, and I'm sure those are happening in the Pakistan side as well. So in no war, it is only that army personnel or the navy or the air force is the only one those are going to get impacted. There is always going to be collateral damage. Similarly, when India would have taken out these terror installations, they are not built like completely independent, right? There must be some markets, there must be some schools or neighborhoods along those areas. So whenever you attack, so collateral damage happens. So of course some civilians will also get impacted. Let me read one question. Milan Bharadia is asking, is this from China tariff? I don't think I understand your question. Like China tariff, or like what does China tariff has to do with the war? The kind of, but China definitely is involved. China is supporting Pakistan right now full heartedly. All the weapons that are there that Pakistan is using have been supplied by China. And as I said, China has its personal interest because the One Belt initiative of China goes through heart of Pakistan, starting from Xinjiang province of China, all the way from China occupied Kashmir to Pakistan occupied Kashmir, all the way to Gwadar port. So that's the One Belt initiative. So if Sindh, the Baluchistan area becomes kind of independent, that will be a huge blow to China and Pakistan both. So we'll have to wait and watch and see if that happens or not. And then from the Taliban side also there are some attacks that are going on Pakistan as well. Not sure if it is major or it's kind of minor. There is just so much news, so much misinformation that is coming. It's very hard to believe what is true, what is not true. So I am just relying on what information is coming out of the military or the government of India is basically stating. Uh, but what I want to say here is that sometimes you have to take a stand, and I think in this area, India has taken the right stand. And I also believe that at this point of time, there is no statesman, there is no superpower that is kind of mediating in all those things. So it's a good time for India to take out Pakistan all out, right? Because even if you do certain strikes here and there, knowing how Pakistan kind of responds, I don't think terrorism is going to stop. So we have to like make deep cuts in Pakistan such that they cannot nest their wounds actually. So the impact that Pakistan should get from this war should be so deep that even after a very long time, they take a lot of time to basically lick their wounds and stand up again. Because you remember back in 1971 also when Pakistan was divided into two countries and there were almost 70,000 plus prisoners of war, that still didn't deter them to do terrorism and keep doing these kind of misadventures, right? So if history is something, so we have to know that Pakistan will continue to keep doing these tactics again. So we have to really focus on eliminating all the terrorism infrastructure. I'm sure those nine targets were not all of it. There are many more infrastructure available in Pakistan, so they also need to be taken out. And I think Pakistan also needs to be taken into account that it's their personal army that is basically pushing these terrorists. So even this army has to be taken out because they're anyway making attacks on Indian army. So it's an act of war as it is. So no stone should be spared. Uh, India should push the complete power that it has, completely eliminate all the apparatus that Pakistan has. Try to avoid the civilian casualties as much as possible. But it's a great opportunity for India to unleash all the practice, all the involving all the Navy, Air Force, and Army, which is what I think the Indian government also mentioned that all three forces are combining together to take care of Pakistan. One important point here is that we have to be careful that perhaps China may also come into the picture. Right now, it is in the background, but it's quite possible that they may open a front on the eastern side of India. So we have to be very calculative of how we are going to handle that. So I believe the Indian Eastern Command will take care of it, but I'm just letting you out that if that is also a possibility. So I don't know how many people or what countries will come in support of India if that front also opens up. But I hope The Indian army is well trained. They have fought many wars, especially with Pakistan, and China will not take this kind of misadventure at this point of time, because I think there is a high alert. Everyone is prepared very well, so China will not incur that kind of risk, because it is quite possible that the kind of metal that India is showing, the kind of preparedness that they have in the past few weeks, can unleash a lot of fury on all the parties, because that is how armies operate. So, given that, I would leave this thought for all the listeners out here, that this war is going. Right now, we cannot declare a win because it is still ongoing. As I said, even with all the air defense systems, there are possibility that few drones or few missiles can basically surpass those air defense systems, and even one of them, if it comes in, can cause huge damage to the civilian population or the military infrastructure that India has. So we all have to be vigilant, and I would also urge these listeners to not, spread misinformation. Try to check whatever is coming from multiple sources. Try to avoid writing nationalist jingles or sharing memes, etc. Comedy is kind of fine, but this is serious matter that is happening, right? This is not a movie. This is real war that is going on right now. It's just that in our homes we are not seeing that happening. Doesn't mean it is not happening outside. So please have restraint, focus on your work, and hopefully this is only going to be for next couple of days. I think even Pakistan doesn't have that kind of resources that they can continue a war for several days or weeks, and it's also not in the interest of India to keep prolonging it. So better is that in the next couple of days, I think within the maybe next week or so, I think this should end in a logical conclusion. And I think if by that time India has taken a lot of lead and they are able to eliminate the backers of these terrorists and all the terrorist installations, I think that would be a big win. I hope that happens, and we should stand by our nation at this point of time. I've spoken about the weaknesses that government of India has multiple times in my podcast, but this is not the time to discuss those. Right now, I think Indian government is taking the right decision, and I also think they are acting very responsibly by not giving any kind of fake news, etc., which is not what is happening in the side of Pakistan. So I think from that perspective also, Indian government is playing out really well, and I think we have to beat them diplomatically, economically. I think the water treaty that has been cancelled, and whenever they want, they can stop the water of Indus and Chenab and Jhelum and other kind of rivers that go into Pakistan. And whenever they want, they can open up the dams because there is more rain, and that can flood Pakistan. Is also very good, I think, ace, like a ace card for India to leverage for them. So they should use the fury of water, either through drought or through flooding. They should use kinetic force, that is like army, navy, air force. They should use diplomatic channels. They should ensure economic, sanctions on Pakistan and terrorism. So I think this is a great opportunity for India to leverage all things that are available. Use the Chanakya Niti to basically create such a big dent for Pakistan that it thinks 100 times before harboring these terrorists and attacking India once and for all, or at least for several years to come. So I hope that is what happens. I'll come back with other podcast about the layoffs, etc., that are happening. I hope you all are healthy, you're spending time with your families, and you're not part of misinformation campaign, as I am not part of those misinformation campaigns. That is why in my last podcast I never talked about Pahalgam, because I did not want to speak until I have good information about what is going on, or exactly I have analyzed the whole situation. So I don't claim that I have analyzed the whole situation even now, but I think it was time for me to talk because a lot of things are going on, and as a responsible person, I wanted to make sure that I'm not part of the misinformation campaign. Having said that, I would like to thank you all for joining me today. If you like this podcast today, please share it, subscribe it, and like it. Do let me know what are other topics you would like for me to cover. I wanted to do this because I have been not able to speak, and this just happened. This is the most critical news that is going on right now, so I couldn't help but stop myself to speak about this India versus Pakistan whole out war that is going on right now. So First of all, I would like to thank our brave soldiers, whether it is Army, Navy, or Air Force, who are actually making sure that we are sleeping sound and secure. At least in the Delhi area and the areas nearby, I have not seen any kind of missile attacks, etc., or even any kind of blackouts that were being called off for. So thus far, we are all safe and sound, and I hope that's how it remains in the next few days as well. And I'm also hoping this basically war comes to a logical conclusion in next couple of days, and then we can talk and look forward, like how do we build from here. So till that time, take care once again. I look forward to your questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer right now. If not, then please write to me and I'll respond to them shortly. Spend time with your family. Bye for now.